कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्वदेवाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। There are a few clarifications which I will take up first before we go into the text. The Upanishad is talking about meditation. And then there are so many ways in which meditation can be understood. The clarification is what is open eye meditation, what is closed eye meditation. What is meditation in the Upanishadic sense? And how Yajna Karma itself is meditation. Meditation is generally defined as single-pointed concentration. When I say generally defined, the fundamental definition. General definition, loose definition. Meditation is generally defined as single-pointed concentration. And the single-pointed concentration has grades. The single-pointed concentration has grades. One is Aneka Rupa Ishvara Dhyana. Second is Eka Rupa Ishvara Dhyanam. The third one is Ayam Atma Brahma. Grades. All are thinking about God only. But then there are grades. And then when you go to the single-pointed meditation, then there is this mantra. Then there is the mantra. And then in single-pointed meditation, you go to the ultimate Moola mantra, the Maha mantra, Om. And then you go to sound silence, sound silence, sound silence. These are all the grades that is involved in meditation. At one level, it is Aneka Rupa Ishvara Dhyana. Lord, the God is seen as totality. Whatsoever you see it as God. Whatsoever you see it as God. As in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Vibhuti Yoga. He took up each and everything. I am this, I am this, I am. If you remember Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, where he took up each and every aspect of life and he said, I am this, I am this, I am this. So that is meditation, where you are training yourself to see God everywhere. You can't simply say, I am seeing God everywhere. It is so meaningless statement. It's a statement which doesn't help you in any way. You need to take up individual things and make an effort to see God in that. You can't generally say, I am seeing God everywhere. I'm seeing God everywhere. It is such a, you are making a linguistically correct statement, but you are not practicing anything at all. Are you able to follow? So what they do is Aneka Rupa Ishvara Dhyanam. What they do, they take up each and everything and they say, this is God, this is God, this is God. This is meditation. For you are seeing that one thing. You are focused on that one thing. And then what do you do? And then you go to Eka Rupa, one form. Instead of many forms, you get to one form. Maybe Rama, maybe Krishna, maybe Ganesha, maybe Mother Goddess. From Aneka Rupa, you go into Eka Rupa. Are you able to follow? And then you go into I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma is the God that is seen in many forms. That God that is seen in one form is me. That God that is seen in many forms, the God that is in one form is me. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma is another form of dhyana, meditation. Meditation means constant repetition. No, what is meditation? Meditation means constant repetition. Now, this is what you are doing. That's why we are not sitting and analyzing here. Why it is called meditation? Because you are repeating. What are you repeating? Aneka Rupa Dhyanam. You are seeing God. This is God. This is God. This is God. This is God. Now, all this looks very silly now. All this will look very mechanical now. All this will look very impractical now. Why? Because fundamentally the conviction has not yet, fundamentally the conviction is not yet come on the divine. Fundamentally it is the ego that is still very strong. Adanala da idella try pannakudadu. We are not asked to try any of this. You are not even exposed to so many of these things. Idella expose panna clarity varadu. Expose panna you will get more and more confused only. Yeah, when you're exposed to these things, now that you are going to gain clarity and nothing. It is going to create more and more confusion only. But then when we are discussing Upanishad, in order to be faithful to the text, it has to be spoken as to what the text is saying. You can, having taken Upanishad, you cannot say what is not in that. What is not in the text. Are you able to follow? These are all the grades of meditation. Open eye meditation is now what? You are seeing Aneka, you are seeing, no, eyes are open. You are seeing, that is open eye meditation. You are making an effort to see God everywhere. When you are making an effort to see God everywhere, don't generalize and make a statement, I am seeing God everywhere. I have to see God everywhere. Don't start like that. Take up individual things and you have to start. You have to take individual things and start. I remember when I started, I had a whole lot of 400 things I will remember every day. Even today, that 400 things, 400 I remember. Starting from the 5 elements, Panchabhutas, Panchabhutaha, Namaskara. You start like that. So by the time you finish that, 3 hours is gone. By the time you finish remembering all that, it is over. This is meditation. Open eye meditation. This is now now that I am saying it, Ranjini is sitting and listening. She is living with me for 20 years. She doesn't even know that I am doing this. Now that I have said this. Otherwise, she doesn't even know. This is open eye meditation. Closed eye meditation is when you sit in one. When you sit in one, in the recommended posture, in the recommended way, you sit and do that. This is called closed eye meditation. Are you able to follow? In both, what is the common formula to both? The common formula to both is Ananya Chinta. Meditation equals Ananya Chinta. Start. Start from the elements, the gurus, the father side, the mother side, the schools that you went to, the university that you went to, and the entire guru, and the entire guru parampara, the friends that you had. You remember everything and say divine, God, God, God. This is called meditation. This is called meditation. Why do I have to bring in them? Because it is easy to remember the divine through that form first, rather than straight away going and saying Rama, 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 Krishna, 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 and all doesn't. It has not helped anybody. It will not help. Why? Because to come to that Eka Rupa, you have to cross through this. You have to cross through these boundaries and come. How they cross the are you okay till now? How they cross the boundaries in the Upanishadic way? In the Upanishadic way, they cross the boundaries by saying Avyaktam Anantarupam Shivam Prashantam Amritam Brahma Yonim Ekam Vibhum Chidanandam. If you don't understand it in the way that I'm saying, you will be wondering why they repeat the same thing again and again and again. And this you repeat every day. Vishnu Sahasranama, Shiva Sahasranama, this Sahasranama doesn't help anybody. Take up all these things and remember divine, 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 divine. You will not like saying 80% of them as divine. It means you have not yet even matured in Karma Yoga. It means you are not even done Karma Yoga properly and matured to Jnana Yoga. And then comes the Jnana Upasana, then comes the Jnana, this Dhyana and all that. Upasana, Dhyana, all means Ananya Chinta, single pointedness. That's all. Are you able to follow? Ananya Chintayanto Mam Yajana Paryupashate, Thesham Nitya Bhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Mahamyam. What is meditation? Ananya Chinta. Ananya Chinta is Dhyana. This Ananya Chinta can be with open eye. This Ananya Chinta can be with closed eye. And then on one form. When do you come to one form? When your concentration levels are so, when you want to precisely focus on the divine, then only you will come to Eka Rupa. If concentration, the precise concentration world irukku. When I'm talking about science, when I'm talking about economics, when I'm talking about politics, when I'm talking about game, when I'm gossiping about somebody, Ananya Chinta, not Ananya Chinta, that focus is there. When it comes to divine focus goes out. Therefore, no point in saying Rama, Krishna and all that. We are not saying you should not say that. By saying that, you are not going to, by repeating it, you are not going to grow. You are not going to evolve. Are you able to follow? Therefore, what do? You meditation in the Upanishadic senses, starting seeing divine everywhere. Now, what is everywhere to you? Your world is everywhere to you. What is everywhere to you? What is everywhere to you? Now, what is happening in Argentina? What is happening in Peru? What is happening in Norway has got nothing to do with me. So, what is everywhere means where all you are, what all you are associated with. Every day you remember that as divine. This is God. This is God. This is God. Are you able to follow? This is meditation. And then what happens when the concentration is becoming more and more acute? It becomes a disturbance. Too many names becomes a disturbance. So what do? Yantaro Mahanubhavalu. You put everything into one. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. Instead of saying one by one, you put everything into one. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Yeah. Samasta lokaha sukhinaha bhavantu. Let everything because this too many things are distracting. Concentrate, because you have evolved to a higher stage. You have evolved to a higher stage. What is evolution to a higher stage means? Desires have come. Desires have become very minimal. Are you able to follow? And then comes dhyana in relation to a formless entity, not with the form. Are you able to follow the shift till now? Till now it is Aneka Rupa, and then to Eka Rupa, which is Rama, Krishna, Shiva, somebody. And then what do you do? In the shift to the, we call as Upanishadic shift. We leave the individual name and form of any particular God and start remembering the attributes. It starts there. So the Upanishadic meditation starts with remembering the attributes. What are the attributes? That's what we are seeing from verse number 5, 6, and 7. Achintyam, Avyaktam, Anantarupam, Shivam, Prashantam, Amritam, Brahma Yonim. Are you able to follow all this? Are you able to follow why instead of using Rama and Krishna and all that, why they use these things? Because Rama and Krishna and those kind of names associated with so much of stories, mind can get distracted into that also. So what do? They bring it to these attributes, and then attributes is also becomes too much. All attributes I am Atma Brahmana, everything is over. I am Atma Brahmana. See, when the person closes his eyes and says, I am Atma Brahma, in a flash, in a split second, he can, down the line, he recognizes everything. In a split second, when he says, I am Atma Brahma, in a split second, the recognition goes to everything. Everything means Aneka Rupa, Eka Rupa, and then these attributes all put together. In a flash it goes. It will go. Yeah. At some stage when we all sit and do it, we will experience it. In a flash it will go. Are you able to follow? And then what happens? Om. That Moola mantra, that Maha mantra, ultimate mantra, Om. Om. அப்புறம் ஓம் கூட கிடையாது. மாத்திர அமாத்திர, sound silence, sound silence. What Swamiji does is he straight away goes to that matra amatra level. In the level matra amatra distinction பேசுறது, it's a very big thing for him. Yeah. இது வந்து கைவல்ய உபநிஷத்து டியூஷன் கிளாஸ் மாதிரி எடுத்திருந்தா we can talk everything. Are you able to follow? There it is entirely matra amatra, sound silence, sound silence, sound silence, and then the intellect is, and then the mind is stuck in silence. The intellect also, the mind stops, the intellect dissolves, then comes the declaration aham brahma asmi. இது வந்து ஒரு சினிமா ஸ்கிரீன் பிளே மாதிரி, ஸ்டோரி மாதிரி கேட்கணும் இது. இல்லையா? You will not worry about the, இல்லையா? When that fellow will sitting somewhere, ஒரு கன் வச்சு ஷூட் பண்ணானா that fellow tadam, the head gets knocked off. We accept the screen play, no? And the moment you accept the screen play when it comes to meditation in grades. All this is called meditation. Why? Because in all these, one thing in common. What is one thing in common? Ananya Chinta. That's why it's called. Why it is not called Vicharam? Why it is not called Vicharam? Why it is called Dhyanam is because it is a simple recognition of divine everywhere. Vicharam is inquiry analysis. That is the difference between Vicharam and Dhyanam. In Dhyana, it is only a recognition. What is the recognition? It is God. There is no inquiry. There is no nothing. The recognition of divine makes you calm. The recognition of divine, what happens to you? That's why a meditator will be a calm person. He will not be an agitated person. Meditator is a very, very calm person, because when he is recognizing the divine, what can agitate him? Are you able to follow? What can agitate him? What can disturb him? Nothing. So, yeah. For this dhyana to come, for this dhyana to happen, lot of vicharam has to be done. What is the vicharam? Nitya, anitya, viveka vicharam. This nitya, anitya, viveka, the vicharam has to happen. Are you okay? For the mind to cooperate to the vicharam, karma yoga has to be done. Karma yoga, vicharam, dhyanam, grades of dhyanam, matra, amatra, and then comes the declaration. Aham Brahmasmi. Manushyanam sahasreshu Arjuna, he says in the Gita. One in your generation will come to me, he says. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Are you able to follow? I am giving you the entire formula involved in meditation. I am giving you that entirely. Are you able to follow? In the world today, without any reference to divine, meditation cannot be a prescription for happiness. In the world today, what are people doing? Meditation has become a medical prescription. Are you able to follow? A peaceful person will be meditative. A meditator will not be a peaceful person. It's not that you meditate, you become peaceful. A peaceful person will be meditative. Are you able to follow? A peaceful person will be meditative. So what also they saw a peaceful person doing meditating, and they think, correct. So in order to get peace, start meditating, which is the wrong prescription. Vedanta says, don't jump steps. Understand this is the state, but recognize your level and start. What is it? Karma yoga. Karma yoga under the Kaivalya Upanishad. I am saying it. Kaivalya Upanishad is not saying Karma yoga. For look at the level of Upanishadic level of meditation. It starts with Achintyam Avyaktam Anantarupam. I tell you, this is meditation. You can just keep repeating it. Achintyam Avyaktam Anantarupam Shivam Prashantam Amritam Brahmayonim Tathadi Madhyanta Vihinamekam Vibhum Chidanandarupam Advayam. It falls so flat. Yeah. It falls so flat, and yet it is and then it is meditation. Are you able to follow now? So, where there is enquiry involved, it is vichara, jnana yoga. Where divine is remembered, where you see everything and you make a conscious effort to call that as divine, is meditation. You make a conscious effort to call that as divine. What would you call? That is where we start with the worship of the Panchabhutas. We start with the worship of the Panchabhutas. Why do you think in those days they worshipped the elements? They worshipped the water. See? Before they step into the river, they will worship the river. Before they step into the river, they will worship the river and they will enter. Before they step into the ocean, they will worship the ocean. Before they cut the grass, they worship that grass. Everything is worshipped. Why? Because if you can't see divine in all these things, Don't you ever think you can see divine in Rama, Krishna, Mother Goddess, Vishnu, Shiva, Allah. It will not work out. Or you will see God, and as you are seeing God, you will be criticizing and complaining about everybody. As you are worshipping God there, you will be criticizing, complaining, cursing everybody. Are you able to follow? Which is not worshipping at all. Are you able to follow? This is meditation in various levels. And then open eye and then open eye and closed eye. Why I am saying all this is, I said last week when I concluded, I said last week I will take up meditation in detail and talk about it. What is meditation? That's why I am giving this explanation. And incidentally, she also asked the question, so it became that much easy to talk about it in the sequence. Except in the context of an Upanishad, we will never discuss this sequence and all. We will never discuss in the way that I explained just now. We will not talk about it. You pray everything, and then beauty, you pray everything, and then you pray to yourself, and then you pray to your own self, thanking that you pray to your own buddhi, thanking that, my God, thank God you are able to see divine everywhere. So you worship external and you worship your own self. Yeah. One is Pradakshina of the temple. Another is Atma Pradakshina. You do Pradakshina to your own self. So you see divine here, you see divine around. Divine Pakanam Abdina, Vicharamla clarity vandirukanu. Vicharamla clarity varanu. What is the Vicharam? What is the clarity in Vicharam? This Nitya Anitya Viveka. This Nitya Anitya Viveka has to be extremely strong. Without any samshaya. There should not be any doubts there. Now, this Nitya Anitya Viveka Vichara to do, mind needs, you need the cooperation of the mind. Mind is not cooperating because it is chasing the desires. Mind is not cooperating because it is chasing the desire. So what do? You give some minimum desires to chase, rest of it, you do Karma Yoga. Are you able to follow? You don't cut the mind completely. You allow the mind to chase a few desires and then do Karma Yoga. This is how the sequence goes. Ananya Chinta. Why it is called meditation is because there is no action involved here. There is no action involved here. It is a mental remembrance. That is why it is called meditation. Meditation means that has to be done mentally. That is meditation. That is why this abhisheka, alankara, and all that will not form under the part of meditation, because all karma is involved there. Action is involved there. Here, no such thing happens. It is just it is only purely mental. Then only you can call it as meditation. The moment activity comes in, and through activity you are able to concentrate, it is Karma Yoga. It is a combination of karma and bhakti, because through karma only you are able to bring in a focus. Only when you do a karma, you are able to bring in a focus. It means that why I am saying this is, do not confuse bhakti with meditation. Here there is no, in bhakti, lot of activities is involved, lot of actions are involved. In dhyana only mental remembrance. In whatsoever the body is engaged in whatsoever activity the mind is engaged in, one part of your personality is attuned to the divine, is meditation. Are you able to follow now? Whatsoever activity you are involved in, you can be involved in talking, you can be involved in teaching, you can be involved in driving, you can be involved in doing business. Whatsoever activity you are involved in, one part of you is attuned to the divine. That is called Ananya Chinta. Are you able to follow? Now, one part of attunement is there at the backdrop constantly, is meditation. It is not done with so much of effort there. It is not done with that much of effort. It is done, so they say, no, anayasam, effortlessly. Yeah, anayasam, that's the word. Effortlessly, the divine is there at the backdrop. And then there are very many things: open eye, closed eye, and there are grades also. Are you okay till now? Huh? Is it okay till now? The clarification is karma yoga and open eye the same. Don't connect it like that. Open eye karma yoga means what? Karma yoga and meditation is not the same. Karma yoga is for what? At the current level, understand karma yoga as karma yoga is only for chitta shuddhi. No dhyanam there, no meditation there. For a person who is evolved to a very high level, he will be doing very many activities like any one of us. Are you able to follow? An evolved person will be doing very many activities like any one of us. In and through the very many activities that he is doing, he remembers he doesn't forget the divine. You want to call that as yajna karma, you can call it as yajna karma. You want to call that as meditation, you can call that as meditation. Where remembrance of divine is predominant. Chitta Shuddhi is not, inner purification is not the point there. Karma yoga, yajna karma turns into meditation when remembrance of the divine is there in and through the actions effortlessly. Our problem today is, sir, where I concentrate panna, how can I remember the divine? If I have to remember the divine, how can I do this activity? I have to sit and remember the divine. No, it's our problem. Are you able to follow? Therefore, remembrance of the divine effortlessly in and through receipt, reaction, response. In and through receipt, reaction and response transactions. In and through the receipt, reaction, response transactions of life, remembrance of the divine is there in the backdrop. You will not want to talk about it. You will not want to share this with anybody. It is just happening. It is quietly happening in you. You know, today I was thinking about divine for so long, you will not want to put it as a WhatsApp status. You will not want to share it with anybody. Are you able to follow? It is happening in you, and it is so, and it's so, and you are so quiet about it. Are you able to follow? This is what you need to understand about meditation itself in its completeness. This is what you need to know about meditation itself in its completeness. Think about what I am saying. It is not easy to straight away grasp. It is not easy. So think about it, and if you still want me to explain, I will go through this again and again. It's not a problem. But don't straight away engage in a clarification. Yeah. She is asking about this matra, amatra, om and all that. After matra, amatra, nothing comes. What is matra? Sound. Amatra is no sound, silence. So there is no om also. Recognition of, that's why I am saying don't try to understand what it is. You can't just listen to it as a, when you see Harry Potter, will you try to understand how the magic happens? Yeah. When you see a James Bond movie, will you try to, will you ask for the logic and reason of it? You just, like a movie, you swallow it. No. Are you able to follow? Yesterday I was, not yesterday, a few days back I was watching, I wasn't watching, I can't sit and watch, it's too difficult. But they were watching this Harry Potter. I was walking up and down. Now suddenly that fellow does something, and it's like, no questions asked. Ascharya. Are you able to follow? Like that, you have to, don't try to reason out here. It happens in, it happens in stages like that. Yeah. This is about meditation. What happens? The drama of realization. Somewhere in the later mantras, we are going to talk about the drama of realization. Drama of realization is matra, amatra, and actually what happens in realization. We have seen that any number of times. We have seen that in chapter 2. We have seen that in Kena Upanishad. We have seen that in Isavasya Upanishad, known as the drama of, it is called the drama of self-realization. We have seen that any number of times. Same, Kaivalya is going to talk about that also. In that mantra, I will talk about it again. Okay. For now, understand how he is saying all this as meditation is the problem. How Achintyam Avyaktam Anantarupam Shivam Prashantam Amritam Brahmayonim and all can be one of meditation. Are you able to follow? Aneka Rupa, Eka Rupa, Arupa. Aneka Rupa na, Aneka na, what is the word Aneka means? Many. Aneka Rupa, Eka Rupa, Rupa na form. Aneka Rupa, many forms. Eka Rupa, one form. And then comes Arupa. Upanishad starts with Arupa level of meditation. Upanishad level means it starts with Arupa. What is Arupa? Achintyam, Avyaktam, Anantam, Rupam, Shivam, Prashantam, Amritam. Idalla. These are all called Arupa. And then what is the ultimate in Arupa? What is the ultimate in Arupa? when one does this vicharam, when one does all this analysis into this, what will happen is, when one studies this, when one does this vichara about this, when one gets into this arupa level of discussion, he discovers, that person discovers that arupa is not an object but subject himself. That arupa is not the object, the arupa is the very subject. I am Atma Brahma. Are you able to follow? The meditator and the meditated becomes, the division becomes the meditator and the meditated becomes very blurred. At one stage, two doesn't exist. What are the two? Meditator and that upon which he is meditating. That stage is called Advayam. That stage is called Advayam. That stage is called Brahma Asmi. Aham Brahma Asmi. Now, what you have to clearly understand is this: meditation must be used for discovering the self. That's why Swamiji says it is the last thing that you do. The last thing that you do in the spiritual journey is meditation. Why? Because meditation is for self-discovery as prescribed by Shastra. Half an hour meditate pannitu and the business planning ukandaka sir, it comes so well. Therefore, I am doing meditation for what? Planning. Inner planning, business planning. Or thoughts are running all over the place and it's very disturbing, very agitating, worrying. What to do? Let me meditate for half an hour. You can try all that. 2 days it will work. 3 days it will work. Fourth day you will go back to square one. Okay. Therefore, meditation has to be used for self-discovery. What is self-discovery? Arupa Dhyana. From Aneka Rupa to Eka Rupa. Aneka Rupana Sahasranama. Yeah. Aneka Rupana Sahasranama. Eka Rupana one Nama. One name is enough. Why do you have to say 1,000 names? One name is enough. And then, but then name also, name na or guna, name, form, guna, karma, all that associated with that comes. And then you move into arupa. Upanishads talks about Aneka Rupa, Eka Rupa and Arupa. And Brahman is beyond this Eka Rupa, Aneka Rupa, Arupa and all that. Don't even say Brahman is Arupa. Don't even say that. Arupa implies your subtlety. That's all. When you are able to see God in this form, it only implies your subtlety. But God is not that. So you can't say Brahman is Arupa. If you say Brahman is Arupa, then you have defined God as formless. God as formless, or it can take every form. Then comes the debate. Is God with form or is God without form? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, what is your problem? God is without form and he is beyond both also. What is your problem? He says God is with form, God is with form, God is without form, and God is beyond both. Akshara, Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purushast Anyaha, he says. That Brahman is called as Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purusha Stvanya Anya. Different from this is this Uttama Purusha. Are you able to follow? Now, Upanishad doesn't do Vicharam a lot. Upanishad has given the attributes upon which you can think about God in Arupa. Are you able to follow? Are you able to follow what Upanishads are talking? That's why we say Upanishads are subtle. Why do we say Upanishads are subtle? Is because Upanishads talk about God predominantly in the Arupa form. Arupa means in terms of the like this attributes and called auspiciousness is Shiva. Abdina, is there anything called inauspicious? No. Everything is auspicious because the opposites don't exist for this. Remember, for all these attributes, the opposites don't exist. For Shivam auspicious na, Ashivam nedad irukkan. He says, no, everything is the opposites do not exist. Immortal. There is no mortality for God. So all that in divine, the opposites don't exist. Opposites don't exist. The opposites exist only for the matter. The opposites exist only for the matter, and the opposites do not exist for the divine. Is it okay? This is what about meditation. This is what about meditation. இதெல்லாம் எந்த புக்ல சார் இருக்குது? இதெல்லாம் எந்த புக்ல இருக்கு? இதெல்லாம் இது வரைக்கும் எந்த புக்லயுமே இல்லையா? இதெல்லாம் எந்த புக்லயும் நான் படிச்சதும் இல்லை. இது வரைக்கும் கேட்ட டிஸ்கோர்சஸ்ல எல்லாம் இதெல்லாம் நம்ம பிடிச்ச புக்லயும் இல்ல, இது வரைக்கும் கேட்ட டிஸ்கோர்சஸ்லயும் ஆல் திஸ் இஸ் நாட். சும்மா நீங்களே புதுசா ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன் பிளே இல்லையா? யூ ஆட் எவ்ரிதிங் பை யுவர் ஓன். You take the spiritual path seriously, you want to have the anubhava of what they are talking about, you do all this, now you will understand. You want to have the anubhava of it. You don't want to talk about it. You want to have the anubhava of what it is. Now you will understand. You will understand how these things work. Seriya? Is it okay? With this, we will go back into seeing the divine. Sorry. Huh? What is control? The clarification is about control, about self-control, sense control. Control means you want something and then you say no irritatingly. There are two types of control. Rendu control na. One is you want it and you forcefully deny yourself that. No. Another thing is you can participate in it and not be affected by it. Yogaratova, bhogaratova. The rendu control. Big level of control is yogaratova, bhogaratova. Yogaratova, bhogaratova, sangha vihina. With company, without company, indulging, in partying, all by himself, he is happy. The English word control, linguistically don't think. Linguistically, if you think, control means what? When you say control, means what? Linguistically, what does control mean? A denial of something. Control always implies a denial. A denial always implies frustration. And again, what is Yogaratova, Bhogaratova, and is called as control? When you are playing the game of money. When you are playing the game of monopoly money, you understand, no? Like monopoly money. When we used to play, when I used to play, it used to be called a trade. It used to be called a trade. Bombay trade. It used to be a full Bombay trade. It would be. The whole of Malabar Hills you can buy. All the name. When we were playing that game, honestly speaking, I didn't even know that these are Tambaram, Krompet, Nungambakam, and the Mardana. Tambaram, Krompet, Nungambakam, Poise Garden. That's Bombay trade. The whole of Dadar, the whole of Malabar Hills, the whole of Chowpatty, you can buy and you can build houses in that. That's a game called Monopoly Money. It's a game. When you are playing that game, you play the game according to the rules and regulations. You are doing everything. You are in perfect control over the game. As an adult, you are in perfect control over the game. What control here means? What does control over here means? Victory or loss makes no difference. That is control. It's not that you don't know the difference between winning and losing. Whether you are winning or whether you are losing, it doesn't make any difference to you when you play the Monopoly money game as an adult now. For the child, it makes. For the child, it makes a lot of difference. Are you able to follow? When you are playing tennis for workout, you can play tennis for workout. When you are playing tennis for workout, winning or losing doesn't make any difference. You will say, I won today. You will not say, I lost today. What will you say? I had an excellent workout today. Are you able to follow? Meaning, you just enjoy the very activity itself and not be bothered about anything that comes out of it. Is control. Control over what? Result. That is, when we talk about the Upanishadic seeker has control, when we say the Upanishadic seeker is a perfectly controlled person. What does it mean? He is unaffected by this. Are you able to follow the difference? Right now, you are affected by it. And you think Upanishadic seeker, he is unaffected now. You think he doesn't know? Does he not know the difference between the two? Does he not know that winning is different, losing is different? Doesn't he know the difference? I'm asking, yes or no? After knowing the difference, he is unaffected means? Knowing the difference, he is unaffected. Knowing the difference, in fact, he will know the difference more than you. Because of his sheer subtlety, he will know the difference more than you. But he remains unaffected. That unaffectation is called control. Are you able to follow? Upanishadic level control, practice you can only evolve and come to this level. That's all. There is no practice of meditation. There is no Upanishadic meditation. How do I practice? Upanishadic control. How do I practice? You can't do any of that things. You can only practice sense control and self-control, as in chapter 2, chapter 3. You practice all that, you will come to the level of Yogaratova, Bhogaratova. So what is control here? Unaffected by, he is unaffected by Samam Pashyanhi Sarvatra, he says. He sees everything samam, equal, which you can't logically understand. Don't worry. Which you can't logically understand. Are you able to follow? Now you are trying to understand logic. How can a person see both equally? How is it possible? For if he is seeing both equally means he should not know the difference between the two. Then only he can see it both equally. On the one hand, we say he understands the difference between the two. On the other hand, we say he is seeing it equally also. And then we use the word control also for this. It is absolutely chaotic. You follow? It is absolutely chaotic. What is the difference? Here, the difference is the unaffected part minus unaffected minus the effort. He is naturally unaffected. Are you able to follow? So naturally unaffected. So sincerely he will be doing, and you can't believe this person can be so unaffected by the result. For the amount of dedication and sincerity that he brought into the doing, you will think that he is going to get a heart attack looking at the result. And yet he remains unaffected. This unaffected point, this unaffected state is called, what? Control. Unaffected. You can't practice how not to be affected. Sir, people ask me this question every time. So many times, everybody has asked me this question. How not to be affected? How not to be affected? The very fact that you are asking this question, you are already affected. And as though how not to be affected is a practice. How not to be affected is not a practice. How not to be affected is a result of understanding. When I'm seeing so many things outside, when you are remaining calm, I also remain calm and I also want to remain unaffected. What should I do? What should I do? The answer is, what is the answer? Gain knowledge, strengthen the intellect. Out of the answer. And this answer you will not. This answer is very, this answer is more irritating than anything else. Why? Because this unaffected state is not a practice. This unaffected state is a level that you rise yourself into. அதுக்கு நிறைய சாதனா பண்ணும். அதுக்கு நிறைய சாதனா தபஸ் அதெல்லாம் இருக்கு, which is not the subject matter of, are you able to follow? Which is not the subject matter of Upanishad. And the discussion Upanishadல கொண்டு வரவே கூடாது. Because if we bring those discussion into Upanishad means, then we have to study Bhagavad Gita text only for that. We should not study Kaivalya Upanishad. Are you able to follow? Kaivalya, the Upanishadic control means what? That person is unaffected. In the ordinary sense, control means, in the ordinary sense, control means what? The ordinary, what is control? Mind is running behind it. And the mind is chasing it, mind is running behind it, and you are and you are pulling it. In the Upanishadic student, when he say he has perfect control, it is not like his mind is running towards the world. That is why I say Nachiketas has perfect control. What is the control of Nachiketas? How many times we have seen this story? What is the control of Nachiketas? Keep your horses and damsels, he said. Keep your horses and damsels. Are you able to follow? You are tempted, the mind is tempted, and you pull the mind back. Everything is available to you and you are not tempted. That's control. Are you able to see the difference? Elementary explain. You should be able to derive all this by self. Mind is tempted and you may not even have it and the mind can be tempted. Follow? You may not even have it, the mind is tempted and the mind is chasing it. Another control is what? The ability is there, the capacity is there, the object is also there in front of you. The ability is there, the capacity is there, the object is there, the being is there, and still you say no. ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் difference இருக்குன்னா அது புரியுதா இல்லையா? At least are able to understand that there is a difference between the two. அவ்வளவுதான். Upanishadic student is not getting tempted and then saying no. It's available to him. Object, everything is seeking him. Like, see what all we are seeking. Yama offered to him on a நம்ம எதெல்லாம் கஷ்டப்பட்டு நம்ம கிடைக்கும் அதெல்லாம் Yama offered him on a plate. It was there to him. Are you able to follow? What was not available for Janaka? That is why Vyasa told Sukabrahma Rishi, you want to learn Vairagya, you want to learn renunciation, go and learn this from Janaka. Why Janaka? It's not that he is seeking the objects. Objects are available at his command. It is available at his command. It is available at his disposal. And yet he says no. What makes him to say no? What makes him to say no? Vicharamla nariya panniyach already. The Vichara Mandal is already done and all this is understood as Anityam. All this is understood as Anityam. All this is understood as temporary. It is the devil that stands in between you and God. All that is understood clearly. All that is done already. And then he is coming and saying, Tavaiva vahas tavanritya gite. Keep your horses and damsels. Eka samvatsara. Wait for a year, the Guru says. Wait for a year. He has perfect control over moksha also. When the Guru says wait for a year, he is waiting for a year. Other control. Agitation. You will follow? The Guru checks whether you have that control or not. So what he says in Prashnopanishad, he says, Eka samvatsara. Ask me this question after 1 year. After 1 year, na வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு வரலாமா? வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு அடுத்த வருஷம் கரெக்ட்டா இந்த டேட்டுக்கு வரணுமா? Can I come back after going home and come back? Eka samvatsara, being here. Being here, ask me this question after 1 year. Na, see, every 24/7 you are seeing the Guru right in front of your eyes. And that man is not answering your question. What is control? He has said it. Eka samvatsara, I will wait. After 1 year, he may say wait for another year. After 1 year, there is no guarantee that he is going to. It's not a contract. It's not a guarantee that after 1 year I will answer you. After 1 year, he may say another Eka Samvatsara. Yeah. Prashnopanishadilla vardhathu. They say wait for 1 year. I have given this example where another story where the Guru gives Brahma Vidya Padigrunu Ellati Vicharamlam Panni. With that Mumukshatva, the boy goes and asks for Brahma Vidya. The Guru gives him a pair of cows and say, once they become 1,000, come back. Avaivaha Savanritya Gite, okay, sir, control, but idhula or padatam, idhula or agitation. That is control. Able to follow? The Upanishadic control, the Upanishadic student is something. The Upanishadic student is extraordinarily different. With reference to the world and all, I am very detached, sir, but answer lang gadagadan sollidungo. I need to know the answer and all very fast. I have to go back. Yeah. Control means what? Control means what? This is control. I went and asked him after a year. 1 year for what? More control you have, more detached you are. It's detachment. Control engendu varum? Where does control come? Only when you are detached. Only when you are detached. Control is detachment. Detachment is control. So, what does the do when he says, wait for 1 year, na, I will find another Guru who will give the answer immediately. Yeah. No, he waits. He waits. Imagine a person of Mukshatva having to wait for a year and he is waiting. What would you call that? Mukshatva la unnu illame namakku kovum varudhu edhu kettaalum. Yeah. Actually, what the tribe people, I don't know how they get angry. How they get angry at the drop of everything? That's a justification. I get angry only for right reasons, sir. Anger madness. Adalena right reasons getting angry. Yeah. I get angry only for right reasons when I see a terrorist. When I see a thief, when I see somebody stealing, I get angry only for right reasons. No detachment. Control implies detachment. Brahma Vidya Varnamna, what is needed? Brahma Vidya Varthukku, what is needed? Detachment is needed. Namakku irukkiradhu vandu intellectual curiosity. We are studying out of intellectual curiosity. We are not actually studying Brahma Vidya. Just because we are discussing all these, don't delude and believe that we are studying Brahma Vidya. It is more of an intellect jignasu, more of an intellectual curiosity. It is very logical, it is very helpful, it is very appealing. We are doing that. Brahma Vidya has not yet. What is that? That vairagya. ஒரு டாக் இருக்கிற கண்ட்ரோல் கூட மனுஷால்ட்ட கிடையாது. You say wait na, the dog, at least the dog is waiting. Sit na, it is sitting. Are you able to follow? What is control? Control in relation to everything. In relation to the world, he has control. In relation to the mumukshatva, he has control. In relation to obeying the command of the Guru, pranipatena, pariprashnena, sevaya. In that there is control. So the boy has to prove that he has control in all these aspects. I have control. Abdinu prove pannada, that boy will be taken as adhikari and he will be taught the Mahavakya, the Upanishad. Are you able to follow? The boy has to prove. Prove to whom? Prove to whom? Please understand, not to the teacher. He has to do all this and prove to himself that he is worthy to receive it. All this the Guru does for what? Please understand. This is all this you don't do to prove to anything to the Guru. All this is to prove to yourself that you are the worthy recipient. Yeah, you are a worthy recipient. When something valuable is going to be given to you, you should be worthy. You should be worthy of it to receive it. If you are not worthy of it, do not cast pearls before swine. Jesus Christ. Do not cast pearls before swine. You can't give. In the 18th chapter, he says, do not give this knowledge, Arjuna, to anybody. Do not give this knowledge, Arjuna, to anybody. Do not give this knowledge who cavils. Do not give this knowledge to one who lacks Shraddha. Do not give this knowledge to one who lacks this Guru Bhakti. He says, do not give this knowledge to these people. Do not give this knowledge to these people. None of us are qualified. But still we study. Why? We are in the Shravana stage. We are in the Shravana stage, listening only now. Shravana, and then listening to it, and then gaining conviction over it, and then doing Karma Yoga, and then doing this Vicharam, and then coming to the level of the Upanishad. Are you able to follow? Control. When you practice control, you understand your worthiness. Please understand, control is to prove your own self to yourself. Control is not to prove anything to anybody. See, to put it very simply, when you are tempted, when you are tempted and you say no to it, you immediately rise in your eyes, no? Immediately you start looking up to your own self, no? See, you want to gossip about somebody, you immediately say no to it, you rise. You want to gossip about somebody 45 minutes, tear open that person and then say, idallam kadavul paathupaar, namakku ennathukku? You are low in your eyes. So self-control is to prove to whom? Self-control is for what? Are you able to follow? When you are practicing control, you evolve, you grow in your own eyes. That is why control is self-control is such an important discipline, because only when you practice self-control, you will grow in your own eyes. Because you say, yes, I can also do it. I can also do it. I am also capable. For what? For something that is valuable. And the value puriyanungaradhukosam, see, Guru wants to give the knowledge more than the Shishya wants it. But then he also understands that that is the Guru's control. That's where the Guru's control, because he also knows no point in giving it now. Let him wait till he matures. Wait till he matures. So in control, when the Gurus demonstrate, when the Guru says practice control and all that, please understand, you are not proving anything to the. It is not that you are showing your control to the Guru and then proving your worthiness, and then Guru is going to give. It's not that. Guru is giving already. You are not receiving it because you are not worthy in your eyes. You are still not worthy in your eyes. You still feel you are this limited, restricted, constricted individual. You still feel, you still know in the deepest core that you are still a victim of Raga Dvesha. You know in the deepest core that Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Bhaya and all is affecting you a lot. You know that. Therefore, you are not a worthy recipient in your own eyes. How do you become a worthy recipient in your own eyes? When you practice control. When you practice control. So always remember this. Whenever Shastra talks about control, it is not you are not doing anybody a favor by control. When you control, you grow in your own eyes. You grow in your own eyes, not in a very egoistic way, not in a very arrogant way. You understand? And when you see somebody getting tempted and falling, you sympathize immediately. Why? Because you know the control, it's not that easy. Poor fellow. It will take some time for that person to develop this kind of control. You understand all this? Compassion comes. Sariya? Is it okay? Very, very important to understand the context of control in Vedanta. The context of control in Vedanta is to make you a worthy recipient. You should know your worth only when you will know your worth only when you practice control. Self-control practice பண்றவனுக்கு ஈகோலாம் இருக்கவே இருக்காது. தானம் கொடுக்கிறவனுக்கு கூட ஈகோ இருக்கும் நிறைய. I have done good. But the person who is practicing control will never have the ego of I have self-control or ego varave varat. You know why? Because how can it come? The fellow is put so much of hard work. That hard work itself brings about a humility. That's why the giver will have the ego. The person who's are able to follow what I'm saying? The person who's practicing dhanam, charity and all that also can have an ego. That I'm a doer of good and love. But a person of self-control will have no. A person of self-control will have no ego. Why? Because he knows. Much effort has gone into it. And only he knows the amount of effort that has gone into it, and he remains calm. Sariya? Is it okay? Sariya? What is the clarification? Kandavel. Can you please explain about Jesus Christ quote? Yeah. Jesus Christ said, do not cast pearls before swine. What it means is, for the person who doesn't know the value of it, who cannot know the value of it, he should not be exposed. He should not be exposed to the valuable things if he cannot understand the value. If he cannot understand the value, not only he will not value, he will start ridiculing it. Like the artwork. Take a simple example, artwork. The person goes to an art gallery, sees the painting, he will come back thinking, in the painting, why do I have to pay 5 crores for this painting? All this is, with this 5 crores, I would have educated 5,000 people. With this 5 crores, I would have, it's not wrong. Do not cast pearls before swine, for they do not understand the value. Number 2, not only they will not understand the value, they will cavil. Number 3, they will use it in the wrong context. Not only third, they will use it in the wrong context. Are you able to follow? They will look at the guru and say, Pati, aurke control illa, they will say. They will use it in the wrong context. Are you able to follow? Adauda karma kadave kadayadu. They will look back and all the philosophy they will apply it on the guru and says he himself is lacking in these things. Therefore, அவர் பேசுறாரே தவிர அவருக்கே அதெல்லாம் அப்பக்கப்ப அவருக்கே எல்லாம் போயிடுறது போல இருக்கு. Do not cast pearls before swine. Okay, va? Yep. With this, we conclude for today and we continue Thursday. Hari.